Wow. It's been a while. We're back to Relationship Flow podcast with Ellie Goldsmith, and hopefully soon my soulmate, Martine Goldsmith, aka Masha Goldsmith, aka Teeny Pop 613 on Instagram. We're happy to be here and we're excited to go ahead with a renewed flow now that we are in a new year already after almost 2 months. Unbelievable how quick time flies. We had a big Emunah tour 2022. You can check it out on Res of Israel podcast. Emunah is our future podcast. A lot of amazing classes there with Rav Shalom Orish and Rav Diane Elga translating into English awesomely. Myself as the MC. We joined up with people like Gedalia Fenster and other wonderful hosts like Dr. Eliezer Gutterman, Chazak, and amazing other people. Go there, check out all the flows there. Unity Flow podcast we hope to update soon. Just a lot going on, and it's something which is going to take time and focus to get to, but we will get to it. And one of the exciting things is during the Emunah tour we had the opportunity in New York to meet up with a lot of new musicians and people, but this is all with the hope that we're dedicating our time correctly. This is the focus of today's relationship flow, that we have, thank God, the ability to connect to our soulmate even when things are busy or traveling and times are a bit more intense, like you move house like we just did. Thank God we moved to a frat and it's amazing there. So far we have, thank God, a good place and everything's slowly finding its place. Obviously a big thanks to my wife, because after a week of moving I already had to be planning a tour and heading off to the US, and I only just been back from my first full Shabbos at my new home. We made Kiddush there, we had Cholas there, first time all the meals eaten in our new place, and it's a big vibe to do that in a new home, a new energy, a new flow. And it's something which, we have to be patient with the process of when you move home, to not expect it to all flow perfectly. But thank God I have to say that everything was very positive, and we're slowly figuring out all the places to pray and be at, and family vibes, like where we fit in the community, in the larger community there. And it takes time, and really the key is what we're talking about today is dedicating time to that process and not pressuring and not telling others what they need to do so they can be happy. It takes a lot of prayer, a lot of patience, and a lot of understanding that everyone has their own unique way of how they're going to find their flow in a new community, a new place, and not to hope that the way you want it is how it's going to be. And that's something which, thank God, being on the Emunah tour, that helped very much with the true mindset, that we let go and we don't try to control people around us or anybody around us, even the family. Everyone wants certain things from our children, certain levels of education and discipline and all this kind of stuff. And obviously that's important in the school system, but at the same time, it's very important for kids to find their own flow, just as I did myself to come to Israel and transform my life here. It's going to be a process of my own kids, for them to find their flow, where they fit in, who they're friends with, what they want to do with their time, where they want to pray, who they're connected with on a daily level, what they use with all the technology. It's a big distraction and a big obstacle nowadays, how to use that in a way that's effective and not taking away from their priorities, and at the same time learning how to use it in a way that's effective so they can be successful with it, because you can't just ignore it. It's evasive, it's there, and the technology needs to be transformed. And that was one of the big understandings I got from this Emunah tour. Once again, I've already had this mindset, but it was strengthened by Rav Y.Y. Jacobson and of course Rav Shalom Orish. The idea that the technology is not something to fear, it's there to assist us. That's one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast flow, to remind us the importance of technology and sharing the true light, the true energy of relationship flow, especially nowadays. People are getting married, and thank God there are relationships still happening in the right way, even though the world's going in a very strange way. But for most people, there's still the format of relationship and, soulmate, and that kind of unification that is meaningful in the fullest way. But at the same time, the actual ability to make it succeed and to have long-term success, eternal success, is being challenged on every level, on every relationship, and therefore we have to really figure out where to dedicate our time, where to put the focus in, and to make the success, and have the education, to have the tools, to have the dedication, to know what to put time into in the most effective way, that our relationships can be fully empowered, fully enhanced. I'm not an expert at this, being married myself over 21 years almost now. With this Hanukkah coming up, will be my 21st anniversary. My wife, my soulmate. It's a big success for anyone nowadays to get to that, that amazing point in marriage, as we call it nowadays. The word is escaping me, but the idea that we get to a certain flag or point, or if you guys can send in, once again, I always put in the notes all the ways to reach out to me, and the blog and the podcast. I'm sure I'll reach the concept in a moment, exactly what the word is. But in life, you have certain measures, certain times you reach a point of success, and success in marriage is not something which is to be taken lightly, especially nowadays. Obviously, there's the aspect of the responsibilities that you have to be there for each other. And amazingly, I just Googled successful marriage, it came up 21 key secrets. So yeah, we're at our 21st anniversary, which is once again a very big point in our life where we're going to rejoice this Hanukkah. We're going to make the most out of it, to realize that it takes a lot of work, and it's all worth it, because there's no more fulfillment than becoming unified with another person in this world, to care about that other person. And once again, these are things which I'm talking about and I still need to work on. It's not like I'm successfully achieving everything on all these levels, and it really is a help for us to grow. The concept of marriage is to give us the most amount of growth and give us the tools to become beyond ourselves, not just stuck in ourselves. And this is really real spiritual growth nowadays, to realize it's all part of the unification of Hashem and godliness, and all the spirituality that we aim for is tested in our marriage, is tested in our bringing up our children and our work life. These are the relationship flows, important realities and awakenings that we have to have on a daily level, weekly level, monthly level, yearly level. We have to constantly awake ourselves. So we have to go out on dates and have date nights or date days, however we do it. We have to make sure that we have anniversaries and moments to celebrate the amazing achievement of marriage and continuation of being a representative of soul in this world. There is a soulmate, there is a continuation of values and principles of truth. As I wrote in a recent post, that this is a new house, a new place, a new community, new opportunities. In the end, it's all based on old truths. So all the new things we're doing in this place, it's all foundation. The whole foundation is on true values, true understandings, and that basis, that yesod, that foundation, is the key to that connection becoming true and lasting, and giving you the ability to be loyal and dedicated. And right now, as I was saying, I was just traveling, I was away, and there are, things out there that could take you away from the focus, and you hear all the stories of divorce and the struggles that people are having in their marriages, and it's intense, especially when they're coming to see the rabbi that I was helping with, and you see the amount of struggle that people have in marriage. You can start to feel, wow, is this really, happening? Is this really worthwhile? And the answer obviously is yes. We have to realize that we're here to develop that unification in our marriage, that flow, that we constantly are helping each other. All the different issues that come up are not just whatever, they're perfectly planned by our Creator to bring us to the next step in development. And these amazing moments, and I know I'm going to get this word at some point, in life wishes, here it says, we're going to get to that place of recognition of milestone. Is that the word? Milestone? Yeah, let's have a look. Milestones, yes. Success, marriage, life, milestones. Yes, milestones throughout marriage that have, yes, a big impact on relationship confidence as a couple. Yeah, so it's a huge milestone to reach that 21st year, and I'm happy I remembered the word now. Thank you, Google, as well. And we have to realize that we have these tools around us. It's not something which should be taken for granted. There's so much awareness nowadays, which is actually a good thing, even if it means that we notice much more difficulties. But as someone was saying cleverly, I think her name was Lisa Tversky, that as much as we have the awareness of the issues, then it gives us the ability now to go to the next level to actually make the right choices and build the right steps forward. So that awareness of how we flow together, how we flow in our relaxing time, how we flow during our Shabbos Sudas, our meals together, how we flow during the week of the work cycle, and how we connect, and realize that there's still so much more to do, because it's not something which you've ever really mastered. I think it's a life journey really to marriage, and that should be exciting. It's not something that should be tiring. It's not something that should be exhausting or something you want to get rid of. You have to really awake yourself to know that that is what we're here for, to really become one with another human being, and then through that ultimately one with united souls. And that comes back to my book and all the other works I'm doing with the Emunah Tour and all the Unity bookings, all the artists bringing together events, but it all builds off the foundation between the oneness between husband and wife, between the marriage, or between us and Hashem, between us and our Torah, and us and our spiritual selves. This is the true unification that we're always seeking in everything we're doing. Every Midnightrabbi is unification. Every time we're learning Torah is unification. Every time we do a mitzvah is unification. We had Roch Lameinat already, and that was an example of unification between Yaakov and Rachel, a very deep connection between souls, and that brought down all the souls that she brought down with Yaakov and the Jewish people that were so important to our people, and the souls of the world that benefit from that light of Rachel Amennu. And that's the idea that we have in these parshas now, Avram and Sarah, and now we're moving on to Yitzhak and Rivka. These unifications are going on between our avos and imahos. This is the idea of bringing down souls, becoming one, and bringing light into the world, the Orsha Avram and the Avodah of Yitzhak, the holy Avodah, and all the prayers of the Imos, and all the deep will to do the right thing and be the right way, and bring the energy of godliness into the world so that humanity can benefit from this godly light. And that's something which, our foundation is based in, and it goes all the way back into these parshas of Lech Lecha V'Yeira Chai Sarah. Right now we're already told this, the continuation, the generations are going to come from Avram, Yitzhak, Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, and we are here in this amazing energy to bring down that light in a daily level. When we put the tefillin on, we have the 3 arms of the shin and the 4 of the arms of the other shin, and when we're together with our soulmate, there's a continuation of that unification. Just as wearing tefillin or keeping Shabbos, there's constantly a unification and achdus, yichud, and that unification is something we should start to yearn towards. We'll be talking more about it, a new light, a dedication of time in our Please God, when we're learning that book together in our Munah is our future podcast this week on Tuesday. You can tune in on munahlive.com, and we'll have it up there. Please God, a new class in our studio in Yerushalayim after the tour, after all the work. But the key of dedicating time, of understanding the importance of this constant battle and struggle within, to know what the priority is, know who to focus on, know where to bring the money and what to use it for, know how to use our emotional strengths, not to get distracted by the internet and the constant need to make a status, and to know when it's time to, it's time's not, time to turn off the phone, time to be there present, time to celebrate, times to connect, times to work through things, times to help each other, assist each other, Ezer connected, to be a Ezer, to be a helpmate, and remind you, where's my shidduch coming? It's coming from Ezri Meim Hashem. It's Hashem's going to be the one helping us. Pray for the success in our marriage, pray for each other, pray for the soulmate. This is all the dedication we need to have, and it needs to be on a consistent level. Daily we need to put time into this. We need to make this a priority in our day, through prayer, through actions of kindness, and through dedication in our way of thinking, and the way we think about things. It makes a big difference to work on elevating our thoughts to a more pure level, that we're not just thinking about the physical pleasure, but also how we can give emotional support and how we can give spiritual connection and help each other have more Hashbaz Tovis, more divine abundance. Right now we're going into Chodesh Kislev, as a time of Hanukkah. There's a big light coming down, a light of Ishta Kagufo, that when we light the candles, menorah, there's a certain oneness between husband and wife that's represented in the candles. And Shalom Bayis Adif, the Shalom Bayis, the marriage, the peace in the home is the preferred, more than all the miracles in the world. The most important thing, the biggest miracle and the biggest light is peace in the home, is Shalom Bayis, is to have that oneness between the soulmate. And that shows the importance of dedication to this. So I wish everyone a beautiful rest of the week. Thank God I'm happy to be back right now I'm working in Yerushalayim and living in a frat, happy to have a new place. I wish everyone all the blessings. Please share your relationship flow. Remember, this is something which is a universal communal reality, that even if we're bringing Torah concepts, but this is something all of humanity has to work on and get these foundations clearer and clearer. And it's something that by doing this, these values will bring us the ability to build a planet together, human existence that's based on truth and oneness, and your relationship flow will become more and more revealed. Amen. Thank you again for joining us. Check out the links in the description. We've got a new extract from United Souls already out. Put it there below, and thank you. Share your relationship flow. Welcome to Eli Goldsmith's Relationship Flow. We are excited to have a special episode with my soulmate, Teeny Pops 613, aka Masha Goldsmith. How you doing? Hello. Been a while.
It's been a while.
I mean, we've been talking, but we didn't do a podcast since, I think, before Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur Sukkot, that whole time.
Yeah, it's been a very, very intense time period, hasn't it?
Yeah, a few months of busyness.
Very busy.
Well, I went to Uman, moved house.
We had the Chagim. Okay, yeah, you went to Uman for Rosh Hashanah. That was last minute that you went, and then all the rest of the Chagim. And straight after the Chagim, we moved house. Moved towns, but is that what you call it, a town? And then a few days after we moved, you went away for almost 2 weeks.
10 days, officially.
2 weeks in
your wife's version.
2 Shabbases is 2 weeks. 10 days, 2 Shabbases.
And
in my translation,
I spoke about last week dedicating time, like for each other, and because I come back and it's important, and it was a goal, and it's not always easy to actually do it.
Right.
Life is busy, and there's a lot of juggling, and we also had big movement with our oldest son. Had a teches, had a special ceremony we went to, which was very intense and emotional. No,
it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful, just unbelievable.
He's gone on a journey in the army and done very well.
Yeah.
It's going to be a paratrooper. It's a big deal for us as a family. We weren't expecting that. Now we're going on that journey. We're living in a new place.
Yeah.
So dedicating time, we spoke about it a lot ourselves, about intention.
Well, I know. Well, can I just go back? I get why are we talking about it? Because it's very fresh on our mind, and we've probably spoken about it before. But it's been, as we said, it's been very busy and very intense, and we always spoke about the need for couples to kind of regroup every so often. Otherwise it just gets intense, and basically it's just been so busy, and we actually haven't had proper time to regroup, and plus just the move and everything was just very, very exhausting for some reason, but more this time. We've moved before, physically, very emotionally as well, and also with your traveling, all that, we really haven't had a chance to really regroup. And for me, I get very affected emotionally by that, and it really affects me emotionally, and then what happens is when we I kind of end up getting upset with you, and so it's been kind of backwards and forwards of me just kind of being upset and saying, oh, you're not giving time, you're not dedicating time, and all that kind of stuff. But then I realized, we sat down together, and I realized that first for my own emotional issues, my own baggage, my own triggers, and my own stuff is something that I have to work with and work within myself. And I can't blame you for that. But yes, some of those things might get triggered from the fact that we haven't been able to regroup. So then then the move and different things triggered and amplified some of my stuff. So I had to kind of separate that. Yes, I do think you need to learn about dedicating time and saying I'm going to be present and dedicate. But I also have to look within myself. Anyway, then I said we used to be very good like this, and we kind of got out of our flow because of everything. And last night I said, okay, let's just break it down. We need to strategize, just like in a business. You need to strategize, how things can work and function. I said we need to strategize. We need to think what should we do. And so I came up with this idea, which we've done before, and maybe it sounds obvious, but when you started off with the whole idea of saying intention at the beginning, I said we need to have a set time once a week at least. That's me and you. We do have chill time every night.
Yes, so we're just resuming. We got cut off thanks to a phone call in the car. And even though we carried on another 10 minutes and recorded an amazing, actually probably one of the best conversations and flows we ever did. Is that right?
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yes.
Not good, I'm meaning it
was rocking.
It was very clear because it's something that we've really spoken about a lot.
But I think the point that was cut off by the fact that we were sitting at night, and usually at night
we're saying about
we try to regroup at night, but it's not really the best.
Yeah, because we're really tired.
So we're not really applying what your three ideas were.
We wake up really, really early. Anyway, so what we're saying is that I said that we anyway do chill at night. So it's not like we don't have time together, but just in terms of the regrouping where you're just strategizing or talking about your life or things, your goals, or just connecting on deeper levels. And even if anyway, sometimes you have and with each other and with our kids and stuff, and you said, but we do, and we do those kind of things. And I said that, but it's just kind of haphazard. It just just works out. But it's not because we intentionally said let's do this. That's why I said that we should have an intentional time of me and you.
Date night or date day, however you do it.
An intentional time that we choose once a week, an intentional time with me and you, an intentional time that we choose to do something for ourselves, an intentional time once a week, but we choose to do something as a family. And at the beginning of the week, we should sit and plan it, make it a plan, because I believe that if we have it planned and intentional, then in those times you will be present because you know that that's the time.
Yeah, we both will. And we'll also do the third thing you mentioned about investing in ourselves. And that concept of investment in the relationship and connection is really the key to a lot of things in life. Really the relationship we mentioned today about investing in our own relationship with each other, soulmate,
investing
relationship
in
flow.
Our kids.
And relationship flow is really the key to our children.
But we don't mean materially, we mean emotionally.
Emotionally investing. And time, and that's why dedicating time is so important. And we mentioned also, even on a spiritual level, dedicating time in prayer. That was one of the big things that came out of my recent trip, that the Rabbi Shalom Morish and our Emunah tour, and we're going to discuss it more on emunahlive.com, the investment that we put into prayer is a huge investment. And if once we invest hours and hours in that, then we have the trust that we know that we're with God and God's with us, and it's a different kind of experience living life with that level of trust in God. And that's something which, say, Gedalia Fence that we mentioned also today, someone who always says he's put thousands of hours in, and he doesn't mean just in business and other aspects. Yeah. Yeah, we're in Israel. So thousands of hours in prayer can really lead to a lot of self-belief and trust. And Amuna Atzmi, Amuna Patochen Atzmi.
And then I come in and say that, going back to what we're talking about.
Yeah, so that
the
concept
prayer's
of investment, the relationship with God, relationship with each other.
So it doesn't mean when I say like one time a week of these one time a week things. The whole, throughout the week, there is obviously connection time with your spouse, yourself, your kids, and things. But, you could just drink your coffee in the morning and take a few deep breaths and look outside, and each little things you can do, smile and just be positive, give compliment. But it's just when you do a few things that are actually intentional, it just adds to the emotional investment in a very deeper way.
Yeah, I mean the whole mindfulness movement and that
gives stability. That's what I said. It gives stability because it's
long lasting.
Then you know that you got, even if the day gets busy, the week gets busy, but you're going to have that time and you're consistent with it.
I mean that's one of the blessings of every day praying, 3 times a day. But the advantage of adding that extra time of dedicated prayer, or dedicated learning, or dedicated relationship time, it's a different day when you've done that, and that's what we need to do at least once weekly, if not daily. Ideally, the more you invest, the more you get out of it. So the more you invest in your relationships, the quality goes up, the communication improves.
Just sometimes daily, it's just you have a bit less time. But so if you know that you make this once a week type of thing where you know that it's you're going to be able to give a bit more time to it.
I mean, I heard recently some sort of data came out of relationships nowadays that people are only talking to each other something like 4 hours a week at the most, something silly like that. Which is crazy, because that's maybe some good relationships. Like that means maybe half an hour more a day, 7 times a week.
If we don't make these investments and we just start to kind of not forget, maybe that's the wrong word, but you just create a distance, and then you start focusing on your differences. And
remember what we said today, which was really important, that the truth is we're one soul. This is the relationship flow, and when you have these moments of investment and relationship focused time, dedicated time, then you reattach yourself to the truth that you're that one soul, and then all the distractions and all the things that are weakening that connection are no longer like present, so you can actually really enhance your relationship. And that is something which can only be done through dedicated time, just like we're saying with God, with our children, with everything you do with business. You mentioned as well today, you have to reassess your business. You can't just just keep plugging away. You got to step away.
Well, what I said was that in businesses, people all the time are having meetings and strategizing and discussing, and I feel like a husband and wife have to sit every so often also sit and strategize how they want to have the relationship, how they want to parent, how they want their week to look, their life to look, their goals, short term, long term.
Well, look, I'm happy that we got to do this twice in a way. Because
sounded better the first time.
No, it sounded better, but that maybe not, because now we're like thinking a bit deeper. At the end of the day, we've been through a lot. We've seen the power of that time we did dedicate to today and what it did for our relationship.
Now we're going to eat some ice cream.
Yeah, we're going to have some ice cream. That's now give a little bit to the body, because you can't just only be emotional or only spiritual. You have to have the full picture, the full balance. And for sure, we do the
only thing is, when you go away, I don't eat ice cream, because I don't like to eat with you, so it's much better.
Yeah, it's nice to share those moments together.
It's nice to eat the ice cream with you, but...
what, you're talking about health-wise?
Yeah.
No, we don't do it enough. When was the I didn't remember the last time. I think it's been a few weeks.
No, it hasn't. Maybe.
Oh, we had some little one. Yeah, we had one of those little bowls. That was like nothing. I don't count it, really. It was a very small amount. The main point is that that kind of thing when eating, like sharing a pleasurable moment together, if you're not going to do that every day also. So be intentional about it and make it
Yeah, we have like our ice cream night. It's not every night.
Yeah, and when you're connected and you're feeling the flow, and it just suddenly gives you quite strength for everything else. So then when things do get difficult, you've already grounded the relationship and touched base to the true level that it's at.
So you invest into your treasure chest so that when things are a little bit hard, but you can pull out of your treasure chest
those important moments that you've had. And we mentioned Stephen Covey, the idea of emotional bank account, that you have to make sure that you are investing regularly.
Stephen Covey wrote the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. If anyone
and you got my 10 habits as well. If anyone wants to go back to SoundCloud, I put it up there. But the concept of, and I even brought it on Spotify at some point, that there is 10 universal principles, but the emotional bank account is one of the most important lessons I thought from all his books, when he talks about family first and prioritization, and I think that needs to be part of your schedule, and time management, and the real successful people have these very clear priorities of what life's about, and they succeed to really enhance their relationship. And then what my rabbis always taught me, that if you invest properly in the relationship flow, so then you won't have to spend hours arguing and hours, maybe even days.
The rabbis told you.
Yeah, they did. So we did do that a little bit.
I don't know if you listened.
Well, we're catching up now.
I'm making a joke. It's a joke.
No.
But no, so often I say, like if you just
right.
gave me that time, like that little extra bit of time, then you would save yourself so much more time from me being upset.
It's like anything,
and
you have to
going
learn how
through this negative
be effective
spiral.
At sleeping, effective at relationships, effective at work. Everything has ability to become
Sorry,
more
maybe
effective.
that sounded mean, because you do this and then you're very...
No, we're trying.
Trying.
There's always times where the flow is there, and sometimes where the flow isn't. You have to sort of go through those painful moments and strengthen yourself and remind yourself this is only momentary in our relationship. This is where I think people... Mummy, can you focus? Where people... And turn off the ding as well, it's annoying. That's something which takes away from focus, having those dings. So the idea of, I was saying that, I think that the old days, they didn't have all these distractions, and they were able... I think it's going
on for a bit too long now.
No, it's fine. I just want to finish off on this point. They didn't have all these distractions, so they were able to have a very solid base in their relationship.
We're very lucky when we...
And they lasted. They never got divorced, back in the day. Nowadays, it's such a high level.
It's so true, isn't it?
And because they're so distracted and they don't really have those quality moments, and so when people fight nowadays, they think, well, then it's over. They don't realize that that's the development. That's the process. That's part of...
Delete, Yeah.
You
could just delete your spouse.
And then, for example, we lost today's, the 2/3 of the episode. Thank God we got a third of it. But the point is, then the determination is nowadays to continue on, get those 2/3 back, maybe add a little bit more. And that's the idea that relationship is something which is constantly growing and development, and not something which should just be thrown away. I mean, if it's so important to a person to understand what marriage is and what soulmate is, it's worth the time, it's worth the investment, and that's why we're dedicating this extra time to do this again. Anyway, you got anything last words to say before we sign out for another week of Relationship Flow? Maybe, I don't know if it was going to be weekly, but at least we got another episode with Teeny Pops back in the house.
We'll try and do this idea that we said of intentional weekly times,
and it felt more natural to then record the podcast, because we first had the connection and then we could discuss it, rather than just forcing ourselves to do the podcast and we're not really feeling the flow. There was a flow first before we went into the podcast, so it was good.
Right, because it was on the way back from our intentional time together today.
So you hear that, guys? If you're in the podcasting world, make sure you give that intentional time, because your podcast will be 10 times better. Okay, please share your relationship flow. Check out notes in the description and any links and email. You can send me your relationship flow. Can't wait to hear from you. Have a good one. Good night from the Holy Land. Bye.
Bye.